with all the time I've spent camping near the border. Wonder how many times I've been on the border patrol camera peeing in the woods. Good morning, Fluffy dog. Are you ready to come out of the car? Or are you just gonna hang out back there? You can come out. Good morning, everybody. We are in beautiful Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and overlooking Coeur d'Alene Lake and the city of Coeur d'Alene. It's so nice to have spring and flowers and green and warm, relatively warm. Now we gotta figure out where to go. We're going north, but I have a general idea. I think I want to try to find a hike today because we both could use a hike. Do some walking. You are a very good boy. I have a plan. We are going to visit an area that I have visited in the past, but that is well worth a second visit, which is the far northwest corner of Idaho in a rainforest. Yeah, we're gonna go see a rainforest in Idaho. It's beautiful. There's also a beautiful lake there, 2 beautiful lakes, and we're gonna camp on one of the lakes. Yeah, that's the plan. That's a good plan. So we are stopped at the side of the road for what I suspect is an accident up ahead. We're kind of in the middle of nowhere, but traffic is at a standstill and we've been sitting here for a while. And I can see the police have arrived. I don't know if ambulances and things like that are needed, and I can't see what's actually happened, but all the plans I was kind of making in my head in the car as we were driving down here or up here, or kind of out the window, I was thinking, oh, I could make it in time and get kind of a late afternoon, early evening hike in. I know where there's a good campsite in the forest, and then maybe the next day do a little paddling on Priest Lake. And yeah, we're just going with the flow. I'm grateful that we are a-okay, but it looks like we're going to be stopped for a while. And probably my goal right now is just find a campsite. Still sitting here. Oh, hi. And we're going to be sitting here a while. Got the information from a fellow who walked up there that there was a head-on accident, and one of the people had to be cut out of the car and it was taken by ambulance. And now they're kind of working up the scene, but we can wait. I hope whoever that was in the car is going to be okay. And we'll just make it to our campsite tonight. All right, we're moving along again. I did not video what was left of one of the vehicles that was crashed because it was bad. that really didn't look very survivable. I hope that person is okay. As we get further north, the forest starts to get denser and darker, and there are a lot fewer people. And this part of Idaho, the few people that there are really just want to be left alone. So I would advise leaving them alone if you come this way. We've hit dirt, well, gravel, and I'm gonna be going a little slower, and I've got my front camera going because the last time I drove this road, which was quite a while ago, I saw a wolf and I didn't have my camera going. So you never know what you're gonna find. This is grizzly bear territory. This is also potentially territory of woodland caribou. I've heard that some people say they're actually gone / extinct / migrated away, but other people say that they're still here. I don't think our chances of seeing a woodland caribou are very high, but I've got the camera on. I'm surprised there's still a little snow on the road. I wonder how much snow this area actually gets. I suspect it's a lot because rainforest doesn't mean rain all the time. It can mean snow too. Now, a tropical rainforest isn't going to be covered in snow, but this is part of the largest inland rainforest. And I suspect it gets a lot of snow in wintertime. Now, I had a specific campsite in mind, but we're going to check this one out because it looks interesting. It's not quite as far down the road as perhaps would be ideal. Or maybe it's not a campsite. This might be just a road. I don't know. Let's find out together. I thought that would be a nicer, closer to the river campsite than what I'm aiming for, but it's not. And I had to back up like 50 yards to be able to turn around. And the way ahead is blocked by downed trees. So we'll carry on. This looks like a pretty nice spot with a picnic table and everything. And it's right by the river, but the river is kind of raging. And there is a little spot there that Fluffy could go in. I just worry a little bit that he might accidentally step in too far. And that would be bad, but I don't know. Thinking about it. Of course, being Fluffy Dog, he went straight for the water. I am going to discourage any further trips to the water, but this will do. This is nice. Quiet. Nobody else is coming back here. It's a giant site, and there's plenty of sun for the solar panel and not so many trees, so the Starlink should work. I won't be using it much, but I do actually have to upload something tonight. So this will do. Fluffy has settled into his sleeping spot, and hopefully you guys can hear me because that river is kind of raging. But we're gonna make some dinner. We are going to use some of the cream that we had left over from last night and make a dish that I've made a lot, but I've never made it camping on a camp stove. So we'll see how it goes. It's a delicious pasta with red sauce. We have pasta, salt, pepper, red pepper flakes, prosciutto, butter, Parmesan, heavy whipping cream, and diced tomatoes. First we add the butter. That turned out to be pretty easy to cook as a camping meal. So I'll probably eat that a lot because it's one of my favorite dishes. Let's see if it tastes like it should. It does. It's a really good dish. I will put the recipe down in the description, so you guys can make it too. I'm tucked into the Jeep. Fluffy's tucked into the Jeep. I was gonna say goodnight outside, but the sound of the river is so loud. And I have a neighbor now, which is fine. They were very nice, and we're like, do you mind if we camp here too? And like, yeah, that's fine. They asked nicely, and I am in kind of a big group spot. I just didn't think very many people were going to be out and about because it's not the weekend and it's not really camping season yet. But there's a few out and about. But I'm going to do a little editing and then we're going to turn in, and tomorrow we're going for a hike. We'll see you in the morning. Good morning, Muffin. Are you ready to go for a hike today? You want to go for a hike? All right, we're heading down the road just a little bit to a quieter spot so I can tell you where we are and what we're doing. You know how the road is up further?
I didn't go any further than right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was right around that corner. You can go look at it. It's still pretty snow-packed, and I didn't want to risk it in this. So.
Gotcha.
But that's not saying you couldn't make it in that. I don't know.
We'll take a look.
Yeah. It's just still a little early, I guess.
Yeah, we might not be going for that hike today. I might have to find alternative plans. This is fine. Oh, yeah. Let's take Fluffy for a little walk and check out what it looks like. Obviously, someone has driven up here and made it a certain distance, but I'm gonna check out up here because I think they didn't make it very far. The problem with this level of snow on the road is that later in the afternoon it's going to melt and get slushy, and then you risk getting high centered on the snow and it becomes a problem. But I think the tracks are gonna end pretty soon, actually. Oh yeah, this is not gonna be passable. This is well over a foot deep. And I can walk on it right now. And I could probably drive on it without sinking too much. But when the snow gets softer in the afternoon, game over. That's as far as you can go. You can see a bunch of branches down on the ground and tire tracks going all over the place. This is tire tracks all wonky. That's because somebody got stuck there. So we can't get even remotely close to where we were gonna hike. So we're still like 9 miles from the trailhead. So I gotta come up with plan B. I was all ready for hiking. From what I understand, usually you can access this road by now, but apparently not this year. And the stream is flowing much more gently up here. Guess it's not a stream, it's a river. This is the Upper Priest River. It's such a lovely area. Kind of bummed I don't get to do the hike. The hike I was going to do was to a waterfall called American Falls, and it's literally right on the Canadian border, or like a stone's throw from the Canadian border. But it is not accessible right now unless I want to put my snowshoes on and do like a 4 or 5 day backpacking trip. So, and hope that the snow isn't any deeper than what this is. So that's not gonna happen. So I just had a very nice and pretty lengthy chat with Border Patrol. A very nice Border Patrol guy. Who this is his area to patrol, which is pretty awesome. And he just told me about this very short but very pleasant little hike up to a waterfall. And he actually drove me or led me in his vehicle to where this is. And we're gonna hike up to a waterfall. This is not the waterfall I was planning to hike to, but it's a waterfall. And I never would have found this little trail without the border guy telling me about it. So that's pretty cool. The Border Patrol guy was telling me about all the critters that they've caught on camera up here, grizzlies and wolves, and I guess they recently saw a Canada lynx on one of the cameras. I wonder how many times, with all the time I've spent camping near the border, wonder how many times I've been on the Border Patrol camera peeing in the woods. Probably more than once. That was a pretty short little jaunt to see a waterfall, and it was delightful. It's not surprising that they have Border Patrol agents here because the border is very close. But it's really hard to get to the border here. And when I've hiked to American Falls, I was like, man, you would be seriously bushwhacking through some pretty hostile territory for a long time to get across the border. But the Border Patrol guy said that they're mostly looking for people who are trying to snowmobile across the border. I find that interesting that snowmobiling across the border is an option. I mean, that's an illegal option and you should not do that or attempt that. But apparently that is something people have tried to do. I was planning to eat my lunch in a lovely little wooded glade in the rainforest on our way down to the waterfall, but that's not going to happen. So instead, we have stopped at this lovely little picnic area on Priest Lake. What are you doing? What are you doing? I was aiming for a picnic table, but this is a lovely little spot in the sun. So we're gonna pull up some sand and sit and have our lunch. Sweet and salty is such an amazing combination. Do you want some prosciutto? I know you don't want any cantaloupe, but prosciutto is good. That was a very delightful place to eat our lunch. And now we've traveled down the road a little bit. And I have this giant heavy pack on my back. And I'm carrying my kayak because we're gonna take a little kayak trip and camp out overnight on another delightful little beach. I've done this kayak trip once before and it's pretty easy. And we have a nice 2-day window of good weather. But when I did it before, it was kind of high summer and the parking lot was full. It's a little different this time around. It's about a half-mile walk downhill and then uphill when we exit to get to where we put in on what's called the thoroughfare, which is just the outlet stream from Upper Priest Lake to Priest Lake. And it's very slow moving, so it's not a big deal to paddle upstream. And I wonder if Fluffy remembers being here before and is like, oh crap, we're going in the kayak again. Now I have to do this a lot of times. I can't find one of my paddle sections. I hiked back up to the car and it's not there, so I lost it somewhere. So instead of a kayak paddle, we're gonna pretend this is a canoe paddle and see if we can make any progress. If we can't, then I give up and we go to the store and find a paddle. But we're gonna see if this will work. It's a little awkward, and I have to remember to switch sides to paddle. But so far, it's working. It's totally not working. We're headed back to port. You ready to walk back up the hill again? Sometimes things just don't work out the way I planned. We're back in the car after trudging uphill again. And we're gonna go find a campsite. I have a spot in mind. Hopefully it works out. And yeah, I think I'm taking all of this as a sign that it's time to go to Canada. Can't find a place to hike. Can't paddle up the river. Lost my paddle. I was up the river without a paddle. I had half a paddle. Yeah, I think we need to go to Canada. But that's going to be tomorrow. Today, I got to find some place to camp. Here we are at the campsite, and we're going to have a neighbor. I can deal with having a neighbor. The campsites are actually kind of spread out a bit, but I'd rather not have a neighbor. But just another sign, man, it's time to go to Canada. I figured I might as well go to a hike-in campsite since I've already got all that stuff together, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna sit on the beach and relax, maybe do a little bit of fishing. Here's the campsite we're choosing. They've got a bear box because you need to store your food. A little picnic table, a fire pit, and even some firewood. I am not going to the trouble of starting a fire because I heat my house with fire with a wood stove. I don't want to do that when I don't have to. I think we're the last campsite in the line, and we'll set up our tent right here. This is the view we'll have from the tent. And there is one other camper here, but I can't even see them, so no big deal. All along here are campsites. And there's Fluffy getting his water. We're gonna walk down here real quick to the end of our beach and see what's around the corner. Lovely. There's another little beachy spot over there. This'll do. I've actually camped here before, a couple of campsites down, and it's a lovely place to camp. It does cost $15, but that's well worth it. It's been a while since I've set up this tent. I'm glad I remembered how to do it. It went up pretty easy. Got the tent set up. Got a camp shower. That was amazing. Already ate my dinner, which was just leftovers from last night. And I think I'm gonna chill out a little bit and maybe do some fishing shortly, but mostly just chill and figure out where I'm crossing the border tomorrow. I don't see any fish rising, but we're gonna toss a fly in the water anyway, just because we're here. Tree. I gave it the good old college try. That's good enough. Just look at this place. It is so peaceful, and there's nobody here. So there was some people just spending the day, and they have gone. So it's just me and Fluffy Dog. We have this whole stretch of beach to ourselves. It's very nice. You are a very happy dog right now, aren't you?
You wanna go in the tent?
That's Mom's side. That's Mom's part of the bed. This is Fluffy's part of the bed.
You sit on your spot. You have your very own. There you go. This is a good day for you, wasn't it? I mean, I didn't get much accomplished, but for a fluffy dog, I think this was a good day.
All right, guys. I am turning in for the night, and we'll see you in the morning.